Greetings, welcome to Facts About Everything. I'm your host, James Egan. Today we're going to look at the DC superhero Martian Manhunter. He is a Martian. You may have guessed this. There's one thing Martians don't really understand on Earth. They don't really understand the concept of jokes. When a superhero told Martian Manhunter a joke, he responded by saying, "Congratulations." And that is the first fact about Martian Manhunter. Let's dive in. His real name is John Johns, which sounds similar to John Jones, so he goes by that name when he's on Earth. He debuted as Martian Manhunter in Detective Comics number 225 in 1955. The story was called The Strange Experiment of Dr. Erdl. Martian Manhunter usually looks like this. You'd assume this is his Martian form, but it isn't. This is his Martian humanoid form, so people won't be as freaked out. He normally looks like this. John has more powers than you can shake a stick at. A big stick. He has the power of flight, invulnerability, invisibility, shape-shifting, telekinesis, telepathy, Martian vision, Martian breath, X-ray vision, sonic control, genius intellect, rapid healing, size manipulation, intangibility, super speed, strength, and durability. Also, he is a good cook. Now you might be thinking, Martian Manhunter sounds amazing. He sounds more powerful than Superman. How come he's not more well known? Because every superhero has a weakness, and Martian Manhunter has one of the worst ones. His weakness is fire. If the slightest amount of fire touches him, his entire body transmogrifies into a gigantic, shapeless mass, which traumatizes him so badly it can take some time for him to reform to normal. John calls Mars Malekandra. It is a reference to the Martians in C.S. Lewis's book, Out of Silent Planet. The character was created by Joseph Samachon and Joe Certa. They are among the few comic book writers who only created one iconic superhero. Despite the fact Martian Manhunter is not very well known, he was one of the founding members of the Justice League. Just to remind you, not even Batman or Superman were founding members. But they got to be in the movie. Where was Martian Manhunter, man? There's a fact about Martian Manhunter that even the most die-hard fans don't know. The beginning of DC Comics is known as the Golden Age of Comics. When the United States entered World War II, no one was buying comics and many of the writers were drafted. When comics made a comeback in the 1950s, it was known as the Silver Age of Comics. When Barry Allen debuted as The Flash in 1956, it was a major success and ushered in the Silver Age. Although The Flash was the first successful Silver Age superhero, Martian Manhunter is the first hero of the Silver Age. Okay, I've explained Martian Manhunter a bit, but now let's look at his actual backstory and origin. Years ago, Dr. Saul Erdl was playing around with alien technology and managed to teleport a Martian from Mars to Earth. When Erdl saw the giant monster, he died from a heart attack. This Martian, which was John Jones, believed that Erdl died because of his grotesque appearance. As a result, John altered his appearance so he doesn't look as scary. With Erdl dead, John had no idea how to get back to his home planet. As a result, he decided to live among the Earthlings until they reached a point where they had a technology that would allow him to return to Mars. John was teleported to Earth while his planet was engulfed in fire. His entire race were killed, meaning that he is the last of his kind. Usually, but we'll get to that. He rarely gets angry and is seen as the heart of the Justice League. John absolutely loves Oreos. For copyright reasons, they are called Chocos in the comics. Weirdly, he debuted in a Batman comic. To help him understand humanity, he split himself into numerous identities and spread them across the globe so he could experience humanity through many cultures. Some of his identities include a thief from Dubai called Pearl, an FBI agent called Darrell Wessel, and his intellect given human form called Mold. One of his identities is Mr. Biscuits. He is an elongated, deformed-looking version of John with limited intellect and vocabulary. He loves biscuits, you probably guessed that, and silly comedies. While watching Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, he said, "Rotund human fell over. Amusing." Mr. Biscuits loves children and performs magical tricks for them. When he does the classic penny behind your ear trick to a child, he said, "Big fat metal object of localized currency lives behind your ear." Yes, also not really. That's great showmanship, Mr. Biscuits. His entire Martian race is mentally connected to each other. In his own words, on Earth, a human is lucky to establish one strong, close emotional relationship in his lifetime. Now imagine having that 1,000 times over. Although he usually seems unemotional, he is more connected to his feelings than any human being on Earth. For eons, Martian gatekeepers use mental energy to make inhospitable regions of Mars breathable. This explains why Mars is no longer habitable, even though it used to be for millennia. His race have no words for alone, isolation, or abandonment. However, they have over 1,000 words for share. In his language, the word for love and remembering is the same. Although this sounds really sweet, this just emphasizes how alone Martian Manhunter feels. He didn't know the concept of alone existed, and he would do anything to reunite with his family.
She has promised to use the stone's power to restore Mars. This is my last chance for happiness. My last chance to embrace my family.
Martian Manhunter can connect to all life, be it human, animal, or plant. He is said to be the last of his kind after his race was killed. However, John isn't the last Martian. He is the last green Martian. The white Martians survived the engulfing of Mars. White Martians are savage warriors who refuse to coexist on Mars with the Green Martians. Because of this, they were banished to an extra-dimensional prison, kind of similar to Superman's Phantom Zone. After the Green Martians were wiped out, the White Martians were released from their prison. They wish to kill John so they can finally extinguish the Green Martians from existence. In his human disguise, John lives the life of a detective. Since he's a Martian, not only can John read people's minds, but he can tap into the emotional residue of the dead. When he walked into a murder scene at a family home, he was linked to all the most emotional moments that occurred in the house, including the moments that led up to the family's death. This skill allows him to solve crimes better than any other detective, obviously apart from Batman, because he's Batman. John managed to befriend a white Martian called M'gann. She adopted the Earth name Megan Morse and fights as a superheroine called Miss Martian. With the help of a former supervillain called Scorch, John eventually cured himself of his arsonophobia, allowing him to be exposed to fire. This sounds good. It's not. It's really bad. You see, although John is the most peaceful member of the Justice League, his ancestors were among the most monstrous aliens in the cosmos. They were known as the Burning. They were telepathic, intangible, and could manipulate fire, making them almost unstoppable. Not even Superman could defeat one of them. The Guardians of the Universe, who created the Green Lanterns, realized that the Burning would devastate the cosmos once they were capable of space travel. As a result, the Guardians preemptively invaded the planet and genetically altered the aliens, so they shut down when they contacted fire, rendering their greatest strength completely useless. This is the reason why John Jones is terrified of fire. However, when John cured himself of his arsonophobia, it triggered the DNA of his ancestors and he reverted to his race's original form. When he turned into the Burning, he took on the name Furnace. It took the entire Justice League to stop him from destroying the world. When he turned back into John, he realized that he needed to maintain his phobia of fire forever. And who do you think beat him? Batman? Superman? Wonder Woman? No, all of them failed. He was defeated by Plastic Man.
Let's get this show rolling. Plastic Man here. Every time I do that, I get gravel in my teeth.
Plastic Man defeated him with his skill? DC Comics rebooted a few years ago. In this version, Martian Manhunter's backstory was changed, so his fear of fire developed after his family burned to death. The writers thought this was simpler for the reader to understand than the furnace concept. Basically, everything I said about furnace, just ignore it. According to the writers, in the reboot, Martian Manhunter is the most dangerous character in the DC universe. Sadly, John was killed by a supervillain called Libra. As John died, he sent a telepathic goodbye to all his friends. John was buried on his home world, Mars. But then came back to life because it's comics, so it doesn't matter. And finally, he has fought against the Looney Tunes character Marvin the Martian.
I claim this planet in the name of Mars. Isn't that lovely?
Why? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Please let me know if there's any other DC superheroes you want me to do a video about, and I'll upload it as soon as possible. To learn more facts, check out my books. They're available on Amazon on paperback and Kindle. Thanks for watching. See you again.